Okay, we should be coming back here. I was able to connect with Nicole during our quick break. I guess she has a little one who has the flu, so that's why she bounced off and bounced right back off because it wasn't gonna work for her. So anyhow, had that conversation during our break. Okay, ladies, so hopefully you got up and wiggled around a little bit. I went and filled up my coffee mug, so we'll keep that going today. And we are going to move on into Merchandising 101 today. So let's have a look here. Can you guys see the screen okay? Everyone good? All right. All right, ladies. Merchandising 101. Welcome to the second segment of your new hire training. Within this section, we will explore specific resources and tools relevant to your new position as a L&R field rep merchandiser. During your field training, you will be introduced to retailer and account-specific guidelines and tricks of the trade. This is going to allow us today to stay higher level and and cover those consistent elements that are true across the board. Several of the topics we will cover can also be found on our iNet and your tablet should you want to review at a later time. Okay, so many of the items can be found on your tablet because we're loading more and more things on our tablet, which is a great resource, being as it's with you when you're out in the field. So I'm going to make sure I highlight those opportunities when they arise today so you can make note of it. Being as you both have been in merchandising, you're probably familiar with some of the language, but let's just walk through this because this is the L&R language of merchandising, okay? Over on the left side of the screen, we have RM, which is for our regional manager, DM for district manager, ICC, that's our store receiver. So I'm not sure if you've referred to them as an ICC in the past, but that is the inventory cost control clerk, which is a mouthful. So we call them the ICCs. All right, and then of course you have your store director, the SD, the assistant store director, etc. Down below, I know I referred to planograms earlier, of which you both are familiar with. We will refer to those moving forward as POGs, P-O-G-S. POGs. And then we also have CC, which is a call cycle, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. Let's take a look at the right side now of the slide, which is SR for shipping report, OOS out of stock, NIS not in stock, NA not authorized, and so on. So again, this entire session for merchandise is going to be part of the deck that will come in an email from Joan later on today to you, so that you will have all the different components, all the different steps, etc., that I'm going to walk and talk through in this session. That way you're not having to write down every single step. All right, let's go ahead and move on from this point. That's our language. Now let's take a look at the service call. So the service call is what basically is your drive to the store, the time you're in the store, the activity in the store, and then your time home. But it also has a little bit more that goes along with it. So let's have a look at that. Service call is your visit to work at an assigned store. So depending on how many stores you have assigned to you, will determine how you are going to end up writing your schedule and so forth. A service call is scheduled based on its call cycle. And a call cycle is the frequency your orders arrive and how often you will visit a store. So a call cycle is currently a metric that your district managers and regional managers keep track of. All right. We only visit a store based on the call cycle it's assigned. So again, if you have more than one store, you may have a handful of a variety of different call cycles. And you'll need to know what those assigned call cycles are, because not only will that help you write out your schedule, but when you go in to write your orders, It will help you figure out, oh, okay, I'm not in here for another 2 weeks. I better bulk up this order just that much more in order to help the store sustain itself through 2 weeks of my service. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what the call cycles, how they're arranged. Your stores will either be assigned a CC1, which means you go 1 time a week. They could be a CC2, which is 1 time every other week. CC3 is 1 time every 3 weeks. And then we have a CC4, which is 1 time per month. So if you have a CC2, it doesn't mean, oh, I've got a partial delivery. I'm going to go in today and I'm going to work the first section that arrived, but now the rest of it's coming in a few days. I'm going to return. No, what it means is we need to wait until the entire order is in, and then we go into that store because we service stores 1 time per the assigned call cycle for that store. Does that make sense? Okay. Also, generally a service call occurs when your entire order has arrived and has been checked in by the receiver. Are you familiar with the word partial deliveries? Does that ring a bell at all? Okay, both of you are. Okay, terrific. Well, being as we're going into winter time, you may experience it. Understanding UPS delivers, so they may be short-staffed, they may have a truck that goes off the road, etc. So in those circumstances, it's important that you're in constant communication with your stores. You know, hey, can you call me or text me when the rest of my order comes in? I see I have a partial delivery. I'm due in tomorrow, but it's going to be another couple days, etc. So we really encourage you to please keep that open communication with your stores so they understand that you're aware and they know when you could perhaps be coming in to service that order. All right. Okay, so that is a call cycle within a service call. During a service call, the way we have written the majority of our contracts out there with our accounts are, we service our stores Monday through Friday. If you were hired to work the weekend, now that's a whole different situation, and you can have that conversation with your district manager on how you're going to manage it. But otherwise, our reps work Monday through Friday, and we work 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, if you have a receiver who says, hey, I start at 4, you're welcome to start at 5 if you're an early bird, that's fine. But our contract for when we're in the store is 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. If, ladies, you're in the store at 4:30 and you realize I am not going to be out of here by 5 p.m., I have still too much to work with and shelf, then I need for you to please text or phone your district manager, let them know the situation. You can then be extended to stay in the store with authorization from a DM up until only 8 p.m., but you can be extended to 8. 8 p.m. is our drop dead time that we ask all reps to be out of the stores. All right, our accounts know it, their headquarters are all aware, but that's our service call time. So 6 to 5, if you have authorization, you can stay up to 8 p.m. and at 8 p.m. please be checked out of that store Monday through Friday. If you have a sick child or you're sick and you don't want to miss your orders and an order has come in, all you need to do is reach out to your DM, say, hey, I'm available to work this weekend. I'd like to so I don't lose the hours. I'd like to keep my stores on track. Would that be all right? And then you guys can dialogue together about it and make arrangements. That definitely happens on a regular basis because we don't want our people to lose hours, and we certainly want our stores to stay on track as well. Okay, during a service call, some of the things you're going to be doing, you'll have your name tag on, you'll have your scanner, you'll have your tablet charged and in hand. You'll be signing in a vendor sign-in book if they have it back by the receiver. You might have to find a store personnel. So if there's not a vendor sign-in, we ask that you find one of the key store personnel and check in, let them know, hey, I'm in your store, I'm here to work, everything going okay. Okay, if you can't find someone, we don't want you to spend a lot of time, but you might need to go up to the customer courtesy desk, ask them to page someone, you know, and just basically a check-in, but we really ask that you pursue that without spending a whole bunch of time doing it. Once you're in the store and you've checked in with someone, you're going to gather up your boxes, maybe a backstock box if there's one, take it out to the floor. You'll be shelving the order that came in on behalf of either yourself or a prior rep if you're taking over their store. You'll be taking after pictures. You'll be writing new orders, cleaning your sets, having conversations with your key store personnel, even when you're out on the floor, making sure all of your product has a price tag. If not, go find the right person with the store to give you the price tag so you can get them up. And then you will be taking filling in your final form. It's called a form. You'll be doing that on your tablet, and then eventually you'll check out of your store. So those different parts and pieces all make up a service call. When you're on a service call, again, please remember no gum, no eating on the sales floor. You're welcome to have your no spill cup with you if you'd like. We also ask that our reps refrain from talking on the phone. So if you need to make or receive a phone call, we ask that you go out front of the store, remove your name tag and take that phone call, or just step into the back and then you don't have to take your name tag off. Just step into the back and deal with the phone call. If you need to send a quick text when you're on the sales floor, that's fine, but we just don't want it ongoing. We truly want you to be 100% available and attentive to not just your customer, but your customer's customers, please. Okay. We also want you to remember there's no gum chewing on the floor, as well as ear pods or earphones. Our reps are not permitted to wear those when they're on the sales floor. Again, we want you to be 100% alert to your surroundings. So please, no earbuds, no earphones, no speaking on the phone. Be available, have those conversations with the people around you. The last piece I want to highlight for you is the italicized at the bottom, and that is just to make sure that you're aware that here with L&R, we have a zero tolerance and no tolerance for any level or degree of foul language. So whether a customer or a store personnel should report one of our reps, it's just immediate grounds for disciplinary action due to the no tolerance policy we have. Okay, you could be out front of the store and have already checked out of the store, but still have your name tag on. That still constitutes the fact that you're working on behalf of L&R, and it's grounds for disciplinary action, including your time in the back room. So please, that's all I'm going to say on it, but just please zip it. Don't ever venture there. Okay, any questions on a service call? You both are good? Okay, let's go ahead and move on, ladies. The daily summary time and mileage report. All right. This report is a report that you will only start receiving when you go live on your tablets. Okay, so while you're filling in your timesheet, you will not be receiving this report, but once you go live with your tablets, this report will start showing up each night in your email. So you might need to take a look at your spam or your junk mail to get started with. Okay. The report is basically a summary of your in-store time, your travel time, and your mileage. Cindy Beatty also receives a copy of this report to help her manage your day and to ensure that if there are any discrepancies, they get handled right away and input correctly so that our pay comes out correct. It is your job to ensure that you review this report when you work. You know, I understand you're part-time, so you're not going to be looking at it every day, but you do need to be looking at it to make sure there's not any errors. All right. The way you read this is, let's bounce down there to the first section. The first section in black is the in-store time, and it's just that. This person was in store 2954 in Bonners Ferry. They were in there an hour and 51 minutes. Then they went to 350, and then it gives them a total of in-store time. Your tablet is not operating on military time, just FYI. Your tablet is operating on realistic exact time. So if you need to ever key in your time, like for admin work or training work, Be specific, break it down into minutes and hours. So if you work 26 minutes, put in 26 minutes, please, into your tablets. If you work administrative time and you key that into your tablet, it will show right here under in-store time. It will also give you the in-store times, but it will also say administrative time. And that's where you want to look to make sure that it was tracked and paid for. Then you have your travel time section there. So that's the travel between stores. So if you traveled from home to your first store and it took you 1 hour and 37 minutes, it will show there. If this person then at the very end of the day traveled home and it took them 54 minutes. The same with mileage, it tracks that for you in your tablet. It's all been inputted. It's based on Google Maps. It never turns off. You have a built-in GPS. But ladies, the one thing I want to let you know about this report is it does not remove the 2020 rule. So if you are personally keeping track of your own time and mileage that you're adding up as days go by to make sure your paycheck is correct, you will need to deduct your 2020 from the totals on this report. Okay, because it wasn't built into the system to do the automatic deduction. So the 3.12 travel time is the grand travel, and then you would deduct your 40 minutes or your 20 minutes from that. And the same goes for the mileage. Now, here's the thing. If you are traveling to a store and let's say you got stuck in an accident and you had to reroute, your tablet doesn't keep track of the extra mileage and the extra time. So that's when you would take this report and you will email it to Cindy Beatty, forward it on to Cindy, and just say, Cindy, I was traveling from store 123 to 456. It did not take me 1 hour and 21 minutes. It took me 1 hour and 31 minutes. I had to reroute an extra 7 miles. So I need for you to be very specific in the details for the discrepancy. And please send it on with this report so Cindy has all the information she needs. She'll immediately go into the system, make the correction, and usually she'll send you an email saying it's been corrected. That way you know your paycheck is correct. Okay. If for some reason you forget to let her know and she sees a report that looks like this on your screen. So she knows there's a discrepancy. The first couple of times she'll probably come hunt you down if she doesn't hear from you and say, hey, Linda, I see there's a discrepancy. Maybe I forgot to check into my store, so my travel just kept going. Maybe I forgot to check out of my store, so instead of clocking my travel, it's still clocking me in the store. So she'll ask you those key questions unless she's heard from you. She'll only give you a couple of times, and then she'll stop pursuing you, and she'll wait for you to contact her with the discrepancies. The one thing I really just want to remind you is Cindy is one person and she handles time and mileage for every single rep, every single hourly employee within the merchandise division for the nation. So that's why she'll have grace in the beginning, and then she really needs to move on and leave it up into our hands to manage our own paychecks. Okay. And ladies, last thing about this report is it always runs, for whatever reason, it runs 2 days behind. So for instance, when I looked at my report that I personally opened up this morning, I was looking at a report from 2 days ago. For some reason, it generates 2 days behind always. Okay, so that's your daily summary of time and mileage report. Only when you go on the tablet will you start receiving this report. Okay. Any questions on the report? All right. Discrepancies, contact Cindy, please. Not your DM, contact Cindy. Okay, let's take a look at that iNet I've whistled about here a few times. The L&R iNet is a corporate intranet site. It's designed as a tool to help keep all of our associates connected and informed. The iNet is a great piece in that we have just loaded it, in the last, I don't know, 6 to 9 months onto our tablets. So now when you're standing in a store, you can switch out of the store page and you can actually go online and connect to the iNet. On the iNet, you can pull up all these different components. You can find supplies, order form, planograms, training, shipping reports, HR tools, etc. Okay. Most of our reps are on the iNet in the upwards of 15 minutes to an hour a week. And we do ask that all of our reps do some degree of admin each week, because when you log into the iNet, everyone, that's where you're getting the relevant information for the accounts that you're going to be servicing. Okay, that information will be posted on the iNet for you. So let's move into the iNet. Now the iNet email comes to you, if you haven't received it already, it comes to you from CSS on behalf of IT, and it's an email that gives you the instructions on how to set up your password and log on to the iNet. Again, keep track of your time, clock it onto your timesheet, please. The steps on how to do that are also included in the welcome packet that will come in the box with your tablet and your scanner. Okay, so track your time, make sure you get paid to get set up on the iNet. Once you get set up on the iNet, there are various screens you're going to go through. The first one I'm showing you here is how to order the LNR supplies. So remember I said there were some tools that you were going to need to perform your job. Here is how you can order several of those items. The items you can order are the ones listed down there in the green box. Now I am working on trying to get a box knife and a duster and permanent markers into our warehouse, but they're not there yet. So we can't order those out of the warehouse yet, but we can get the other items. So I've given you step-by-step instructions on, once you're on the iNet, how to log in and how to place an order. Your orders come to your address on file, so they'll come to your home. And please remember, it comes to you from the warehouse where you receive your store orders. So the warehouse fills the store orders first, and then our personal needs, if you will. So whatever we're ordering off e-commerce and or our supplies, they get filled secondary. Okay. These pages, once again, are going to be sent out to you via email from Joan after class today, so you don't have to write these steps down that I'm going to go through. Are we good with how to order supplies? You'll do it on the iNet. This is a very important page, ladies. So you might want to just make a note that when you get this deck and you're on the iNet, I need for you to please join groups. Groups are the actual accounts that you're going to be servicing. So you might be servicing Kroger, and then maybe you have Smith and Ralph's and I don't know, whatever else under there. You might have Fry's. You might be doing Safeways and Albertsons. Each of the type of grocery chains that you will be servicing, you need to join each one of those groups. Okay, and you will do so by following these instructions step by step. You'll need to join one group at a time. And once you join those groups, now you will start receiving all information relevant to those accounts. But until you join the groups, you're not going to receive that information. All right. If you are going to have a Kroger store, a Kroger chain, please make sure that you join not only that chain like Smith's, but you also join the actual header account called Kroger. So you need to join Kroger as a group and Smith's as a group. Same goes for Albertsons-Safeway. Please join Albertsons-Safeway group, as well as maybe Safeway Intermountain or Albertsons Portland. So please make sure you join the individual ones. Any questions on groups? Okay. Now, the shipping report. I'm not sure if you used a shipping report with your other companies, but here with LNR, you're probably already in your email receiving a shipping report regarding your orders. If you haven't seen it, it might be in your spam junk mail, so just have a look, okay? What I've given you both are the how to understand how to walk through the shipping report. This first page, it explains how you're going to log onto the iNet to find your shipping report. Now you may be wondering, well, Linda, why do I need to log on to the iNet if it's coming into my email daily? Well, the reason being is sometimes IT takes the system down. If the system goes down, that means you're not going to receive a daily shipping report. You can go onto the iNet and pull up your shipping report to update your schedule. Maybe you're servicing stores on behalf of another rep who's out sick or vacation or covering an open territory. If you're doing one of those, you just need to know the prior rep's name, and now you can log on to the iNet. You can find their specific shipping report and build in those stores to your personal schedule. So that's why you would need to go on to the iNet. Okay, all right, I got to turn up my heat here, ladies. I'm freezing. Okay, so these are the step-by-step instructions how to find your shipping report on the iNet. Now let's take a look at your shipping report. So I think, Melissa, you said you've seen your shipping report in your email. Have you actually looked at it? And you have two Annabelle. Okay. You ladies have looked at it. Okay. Did it make sense to you? It did. Okay, good. All right. So I'll quickly highlight this then. The left side is just a key for you. So should you have questions when you're looking at your SR, your shipping report, use the key on the left side of the screen. The right side of the screen, we have your store name and store number, the city, state, the shipper will always be UPS. Okay, Melissa, I think you need a little caffeine. Okay, number of packages. Ladies, don't be alarmed if the number of packages is blank. Again, this is updated from UPS to our warehouse, and then our warehouse updates your SR. So if UPS is having trouble with their systems or their drivers and doesn't get SR information on time, that means your shipping report isn't updated accurately. Okay, sometimes your number of packages may say 4, and the next day you bring it up and it says 3, or it might say 7, and you're going, what in the world happened? All you need to do is go over to the delivery status column. This is a fabulous column. That is a hyperlink. So it says shipped, transit, and delivered. If you click on that, it's a hyperlink and it takes you into the world of UPS. They put in all kinds of messages there for you. So they might say, no updated information, please check back at a later time. They may give you the tracking numbers of the boxes that were delivered. It might even say 2 of 4 delivered. It may say 4 and you're going 4 for what? If you look back to the main page, you'll say, oh, I was expecting 4 boxes. They're saying they delivered 4. I'm good to go now. I can schedule myself in the store. Okay, so the delivery status column is a hyperlink. Please use it. It's a great tool. The ship date is when your order left the warehouse, and the expected delivery date is when it's expected to be at your store with your receiver. Typically, our warehouses turn our orders around and get them delivered within about 5 days. That's just a rule of thumb. Wintertime UPS, you're going to need to give them a little bit of flexibility, have a little bit of patience there. Okay. Now, one thing I do want to highlight with your shipping report. Do you see that top line, that top green bar that says 2954 Bonners Ferry? And it's in green, it goes across. If you take that bar and duplicate it, replicate it right on top of there, if you see that and you're going, wait, why is this store listed twice on my shipping report? What's going on? Ladies, instantly you will know you have a partial delivery coming. Probably your tracking number in the delivery status column is different, or your box count, your packages have changed, and or you're going to have a message in the delivery status. But that right there tells you, hey, I've got a partial. You're probably going to want to call the store receiver and say, I see I've got a partial coming. Could you text or call me when the entire order's there? Okay. The last column for fixture, promo, distro, the X, S, and P. Those are various things that communicate to you what's going on with that particular invoice and order. So the X means your order's arrived at the store, but it's probably not checked in yet through the EDI system. S is for socks order. Those are scan-based, meaning your receiver does not check in the box of socks hosiery. So that's why it comes on with its own invoice and it's its own delivery line item. P means promo. So ladies, promo is something you did not order. The account that you're servicing, their headquarters ordered it out of our warehouse and had it shipped to your store. So they gave us a laundry list of stores and we then ship out whatever it was they ordered out to you all. Okay. In that case, if it arrives at your store and your receiver says, hey, Linda, you've got this big old box of black hair ties. I checked the floor. You don't need them. I want them returned. No, we can't return a promo. That receiver received an email from his corporate office telling him they were coming. And then you would have received an email from your district manager saying, hey, black hairbands are coming to your store. Please put them in such and such a location and please make sure they get price tagged. They're not returnable. They're a promo. Okay, so all we do is we put it on the floor and we don't reorder promos. Okay, and sometimes they can be a clip strip too. We don't usually deal with clip strips, but sometimes our promos will come as a clip strip, just FYI. Okay, and then R, you're going to see some R's coming in because we are doing some resets. So if you have an R on your shipping report, it means that all those boxes arriving, you'll need to tag them during your next service call for reset. Date the box, put maybe whoever's doing the reset on the box, and make sure it's in a place where it's meant to be, maybe even on the pallet for that reset company. But those directions would have come to you from the DM, okay? Okay, Annabelle, this is just blowing me away. I cannot believe you're in a tank top. I'm sitting here just freezing in my home. It's like 3 degrees outside and you're in a tank top and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so cold.
Yeah, I'm from so.
Oh, so you're doing good. It's so funny, the different temperatures and what's going on. Okay, ladies, back to business. So the SR, are we all good with the shipping report and how to look at it, how to use it? Okay. All right, good. All right. Planograms. Again, I'm not going to walk through them because you ladies, you're probably my subject matter experts already on these. But ours may look a little different. What I do want to share with you is how to find them. So again, our planograms are located on the iNet, and that can be found on your home computers, on your tablets, and I even have the iNet loaded on my personal phone. So you can load the iNet however you wish. You know, you go in through your email provider, you put in HTTP, you put in the link there, bring up the iNet, make sure you get set up with your password, etc., and you can load it wherever you want. That is how you will find our planograms. Okay, you will want to go in and have a look just because the tablets do not have all of the tablets or all of the planograms loaded on them because there are so many accounts and many planograms. So in that case, you may need to contact your district manager if you can't find the POG that you want. Okay, because they can. Same goes for the iNet. If you're on your home computer looking up POGs, you may or may not be able to find it, again, just because we can't load everything. Well, we probably could. It's overloading. There's so much. To access planograms on the iNet, ladies, here are the step-by-step instructions. So if you just follow these pages when you're ready to get set up and you're in on the iNet, this will take you through the different steps. If you look down about halfway down this slide, I do want to point out to find our cosmetic planograms, To do this, whether on the tablet or your home computer, you'll need to log in, and then you'll need to know the quarter and the year of the planogram that you're looking for. Currently, we're in quarter 3. Okay, we're quarter 3, year 22. So you would then go on to the planogram page, find the quarter and the year you want, click on that, and now it will open up for you the different banners. So you'll know, what are you looking for? Are you looking for e.l.f.? Are you looking for Revlon? Are you looking for CoverGirl? So our pogs are broken down by the brand. All right. Once you select that, so say I select Revlon, now I'm going to need to know the set size. So my set might be 1 foot by 72. It might be a 6 foot by 54. You'll need to know your set size, which I will show you how to find in your tablets. And then at that point in time, you'll find your 6 by 54 PDF POG, click on it, and there's your planogram for you. So that's how you find a cosmetic planogram. You need the quarter, you need the year, you need the brand, and you need the set size. Okay. If you want to find any of the other planograms, you'll go back to this same page that's on the slide, but you need to click GM planograms for general merchandise. Click on that, and now here's the whole world of everything else we have. Toys, goody hair accessories, yoga fitness, you name it. That's where all of our other pogs are located. Once you're in there, it's the same thing. Click on maybe toys, click on the set size, find the PDF set size, click on that, there's your planogram. Okay, so cosmetics is the only one where you have to know the quarter and the year for the POG that you want. And then everything else is in GM. Any questions on that part, ladies? Okay, so there's POGs for you. That's on the iNet. And then I've also given you the step-by-step instructions how to find the planograms on your tablet. This is the one I really want to encourage you to experiment with, all right, and make sure you have set up. And the reason I encourage that is because most likely you're going to be pulling up your POGs when you're standing in a store and you need a UPC number, or maybe you're just double checking the integrity of the set. Okay. When you go onto your tablets, you're going to go from what's called the home bubble page. And in that bottom, do you see the bottom picture on your slide? My thumb is up towards, it looks like it's a green circle. So once you open it on your tablet, you can save the link to your desktop, which is the bubble page of your tablet. And that'll be your shortcut. All right, so that you can do that. I've had reps ask me after the fact, and yes, that's my tablet actually. So I have a shortcut on my tablet to get me right into the iNet. Okay, so here are your step-by-steps that you're going to need for planograms on the tablet as well as on the iNet. I have pictures, but you're both familiar with them, so we're not going to worry about that. Let's just go right to invoices if that's okay. Okay. Invoices, they are account specific, all right? If you are going to be working with an account that has invoices, I want for you to please pull this page out with your field trainer and make sure they walk you through how to read and work with the invoices. This is so account specific that there really isn't a whole lot for me to cover here with you regarding it. The one thing I do want to let you know, though, is if your store is missing an invoice and needs it to check in your order, all you got to do, ladies, is call your DM and they can have CSS immediately fax over the invoice. They can have it emailed, or they can have what's called NEXT, NEXT''D. And that takes longer. That is our company going to their company, and their company loads it in their system, which then eventually lands in what we call the Talzon for your receiver. So that's a longer process, but we can get that invoice to them right away to check it in, so you don't leave and have to come back, but you will need to call your DM. Okay, but invoices are they're just account specific. So again, please pull out this page if you need it, and then you and your trainer can walk through it, okay? These are examples of invoices. Again, you'll have copies of that. The credit and return policy. So the higher level of credit and return policy, again, this is account specific. You may be involved in doing a credit or a return down the road, or you may have an account that we just flat out don't do any credits and returns for. Okay. In the next series, excuse me, with Repsly, I will actually give you the step-by-step instructions on how to enter a credit into your tablet. So you will have those instructions you can then keep in your personal notebook that maybe you're going to carry with you each visit, or, you know, have access to it. This slide, however, I just want to give you the generic information that is true across the board. So the norm for no returns or credits provided through LNR are generally applicable to the following. Empty or partial packaging. If the store gives you, you know, damaged goods or an empty package that's probably customer theft, no, I'm really sorry, but we will not give that store credit for any of that. Damaged product, damaged packaging, no. If a store is closing or a section is downsizing or going through a remodel, none of that will we give credits to the remainder of the product after the fact. And here's why, ladies. When a store is closing or changes are being made to a set, everyone is aware of it. So your account headquarters sends down all the communication all the way down through the GM and the receiver. Our account managers do the same. They notify the RMs notify the DMs, and the DMs notify you anywhere between a month to 3 months in advance. And there's probably a deadline date in there that says, hey, Linda, please stop ordering Maybelline Cosmetics as of May 1 because your store is going to go through a remodel and it's getting rid of the set. Oh, I tag it in my notes and I stop ordering it. However, if now the remodel starts and there's still Maybelline in that store, we do not credit it. The store now has to do a markdown on it, or they can arrange a store to store. We don't tell them what to do with it. It's their choice, but we will not take it back. And that's because everybody knows. All right. We work it out at that higher level, so it doesn't catch anybody off guard. The rule of thumb across the board for a return. That's that green label I showed you in the very beginning, along with the black and white label, and then the return authorization sheet. All right, you would need those to process a return. And if we're going to return something, that would be, you know, standard practice. It would be if the warehouse accidentally sent a box to your store and maybe it should have been in, I don't know, Oregon. Then you just call your DM and say, hey, I have a box that needs to go to a different store. They'll either have you forward that box to the next store, or they'll have you put a green and a black and white label on it and return it to the warehouse. Okay. Also, you might do a return if the warehouse has accidentally sent you too much of an item that you ordered. Okay. Your receiver won't pay for it. They won't check it in. Set it aside till you have about $50 and then do the return. But any return, ladies, please make a note. Any return cannot be done without the authorization of your district manager first. Okay. Also, sometimes our warehouse accidentally sends out product to us that we don't even have in that store. So if that's the case, it still needs to be in the packaging and then you can return it to the warehouse. All right, so those are the norms. Outside of that is maybe information or an email that's come to you from your district manager or your regional manager saying, hey, we're going to do something out of the norm. Please do X, Y, and Z. Or maybe something's happened in your store and you call your DM and you guys figure out what you're going to do. Okay, maybe then you're going to do a credit or return. Okay, but again, it's all account specific, so we don't go into much detail regarding it here. All right, how are we with credit and returns? Thank you. All right, The next 4 pages I'm going to breeze through because I just really want to highlight them. You probably recognize these. These 4 pages were part of your onboarding. But Mike, our director of merchandising, felt that they were important enough where we should probably go through the highlights here because we know that when we're doing onboarding, there's just a lot of paperwork we're covering. That's just the nature of getting hired. Let's go ahead and talk about the highlights here. Field merchandisers are required to service assigned stores in a timely manner. The timely manner, ladies, is 48 hours from drop. So when your order arrives in a store, you have 48 hours to return to that store, shelf, and write a new order. Should you be unable to get into that store in 48 hours, please call your district manager and the two of you will figure something out there. Okay, because we know that most of our reps are part-time. Sometimes the orders come in on a Friday. They're not even ready till Tuesday because you're probably most likely your receiver's gone home and won't even check it in until Monday. Okay, 48 hours for the most part does not usually count a weekend, but I do know that Shelly, as your regional manager, she does consider the weekend part of the 48 hours. So if you have an order arrive on a Friday and your receiver checks it in, you may want to call your district managers and have that conversation with Amy and Jennifer and figure out how it's going to be handled. Okay. 48 hours does not include major holidays like Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, Easter, etc. So your 48 hours never includes those. Field merchandisers are required to take after pictures. I'll be showing that in the next session. Every time you go in for a service call, please take your after pictures of every set that is LNRs in that store. The same goes for writing an order. When you're on a service call, you're shelving an order and you're writing an order. We don't go to a store and conduct a service call without writing a new order. If there is some exception to that, and for some reason, like, I don't know, the store manager may be having a walkthrough and doesn't want an order coming in because he doesn't want the extra boxes in the back, perhaps, then you'll need to contact your DM immediately and have a conversation about not being able to write an order. Okay, your DM is your go-to, ladies. Even though if you're questioning anything or you're having problems in your store, don't take the heat. Call your DM. All right. You're there to do your service, have fun, develop relationships with your stores, fulfill the needs that we need to have done in the service call, but not to take the heat if there is any. Get your DM involved. They'll help you out. All right, let's move on then. Field merchandisers are required to comply with Repsli time recording standards. I'll introduce that to you as well. That's basically pausing and resuming your tablets. So if you're going to take a lunch break, pause your tablet, have your lunch break, and then resume when you're back to work. And maybe in the middle of the day, you need to go to a dentist appointment or pick a child up from school. Pause your day, go do what you need to do, and resume when you're back on the clock. Okay? Field merchandisers are required to service stores between the hours of 6 and 8. Remember, 8 is that extension past 5. So that's our deadline. Let's see, company issued equipment or property down in that larger paragraph. Company issued equipment or property must be returned to LNR distributors upon any separation of employment. I hate highlighting that since this is new hire orientation, but you know, sometimes people get in and they have to move on for some reason. Okay. The other thing I want to make sure that I note, ladies, is please, please do not put anything personal onto your tablets. It's grounds for disciplinary action. We do have a team through IT who's managing the back office of our tablets as well as our director. We've had to part ways with employees who put personal information on their tablets. So please just don't go there. My husband and I, we have 18 grandkids. If I have grandkids in my home, even my little 6-year-old granddaughter, she knows what to do with technology. So I immediately rush back to my office and tuck my tablet into a drawer so it's out of sight, out of mind, because they just don't know better. but I could get in trouble for it. So please, please, tablet is only work. Okay, please. All right, let me see what else. This is just the page that you guys signed when you were onboarded, so we'll just fly right through that. And now we're at the last page of Merchandising 101. Ladies, I know I went through that pretty quick. Primarily I did that because you have the experience. But do you have any questions, or would you like me to clarify or go back and cover something? You're okay. All right. This is great, man. When I have people who are experienced, we can move through this data. All right. What we are going to do in the next session, I'm actually going to link my tablet to my computer so you can see the screen of my tablet. Okay. We're going to walk through all the key buttons and pages that you will be using with your tablet. But here's the deal. I don't want you to panic. I know you're not live with your tablets. Okay. I'm going to give you those basic highlights, and then you'll take what I'm giving you today out into the field, and that's where you get to do the hands-on training with your tablet. Okay, I know most of us do better when we have our tablet in hand, but we really felt like an introduction to your tablet was necessary. And we've found through measuring that it actually speeds up the field training if people are somewhat familiar. Because once you hit the field, that's when those light bulbs go off and people go, oh yeah, I remember Linda talking about it. Now I'm doing it. Now it's coming together. Okay. Also, the Repsley 101 session we're going to dive into, that deck will also be emailed to you by Joan later on today. Okay, so you're going to have the pages with the details, those step-by-step instructions, so that once you go to the field, if need be, you can pull out that deck and go, oh yes, I remember now how to find X, Y, and Z. So it'll be there for you. Have either of you used a tablet, by the way, in your prior merchandise? Oh, Melissa, you have. Okay, so you're familiar with it. And Annabelle, you did too? Oh, okay. So we'll just keep doing the thumbs up. And if you're familiar with the screens I'm showing you, we'll just kind of cruise through, and I will try not to go too in depth then for you. Okay, let's take a 5-minute break, shall we? Because I need to unload, reload, and I'm going to run to the restroom. All right, ladies, I'll see you back here in about 5 minutes. Thank you.